Hello. This is Ed Irigoyen, Edmundo.
And I'm
And
Luis.
my friend Luis Alborne. And we're both retired doctors, and we come and smoke a cigar once or twice a month. And we always have conversations about history, language, etc., etc. Anyway, today we have an interesting topic, which is I've been asked this many times. How do people that are Spanish speaking want to be called? Do they want to be called Latins, Hispanics, or what do they want to be called? And what classifies them as Hispanic or Latin or whatever? So I'm going to start by asking my friend here, Luis, his opinion, what he thinks, and then I'll go ahead and I'll give my opinion of what I think, and then we'll come to a conclusion what's correct. But clearly, this is kind of confusing even for Hispanics or Latins, whatever you want to call them, because everybody has a different opinion. So, what do you think, Luis? What do you think about the subject?
This is a topic from what I learned first reading European Time magazine back in Spain in 1976. There was an article or a letter to the editor, which a gentleman wrote the letter in which it stated that he didn't believe that that was a correct term according to the Royal Society of the Castilian or Spanish language.
What was not a correct term?
Hispanic.
Hispanic, okay.
The way they was being used.
Mm-hmm.
And according to that definition, it meant somebody who was directly associated to Hispania,
Mm-hmm.
which is Spain, name that was given by the Roman, but before the Roman, it was, from what I've read, it was called Span, or Spania, which was a Celtic name for land of rabbits. Celts were there from 700 before Christ on. And he said that it shouldn't be used except for those people that were directly derived from parents or grandparents or born in Spain,
Mm-hmm.
not somebody from the New World,
Right.
the Americas.
Yeah.
And he said that it was being used nowadays, back then, as a drawer of what he called tailor drawer, where they throw different colors
And
of leftover clothes, and anybody
they didn't know where to classify things.
where to classify it with.
Yeah.
They may be black or indigenous people or white, etc. All mixed there, and they named all these people Hispanos or Hispanics here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with you. That's really confusing for a lot of people. A lot of it is because I think originally it started in Spanish and then it's translated to English. And there's a lot of things that are lost in translation. And also different cultures have different interpretations of things. And like you said, Hispanic means from Spain. And typically the Spanish were very precise in their language, and when they had their Spanish Empire, the people that were born in America, which is the continent of North America, and South America, which was called the Indies, because in the beginning they didn't even know it was a different continent. So the word Hispanic was Hispanic American, Hispano-Americano. So you had both words, and not just Hispanic. So Hispanics would be the people in Spain, and Hispano-Americano or Hispanic American would be people of Spanish descent or Spanish culture that were born in the Americas. And there's another term, but it's not used that much, which is Ibero-American, which
includes the Portuguese-speaking Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
The Iberian Peninsula.
It's everything in the Iberian Peninsula, which the Iberian Peninsula is comprised of Spain and Portugal, and those two were colonial power. So if you put them together, that's Iberian Americans. This term is not used very much. It's used in Spain quite a bit. It's not used here almost any time.
And the third term is the Latino Americanos, which was
Latino Americano.
It was very much used in the years past and even today.
Yeah.
But again, Latino is not right. It's a misnomer.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the Americano behind it.
Yeah, but
It just has Latino.
Which are the Latins. And the Latins, it was a tribe near Rome, the Latini.
Right.
Which the Romans, I believe, took that language from the Latini, the so-called Latin language.
Well,
so we're not all Latin because nobody comes from that part of Italy,
right.
Strictly speaking.
I think mostly it's in reference to the Latin culture that spread through Europe with the Roman Empire, and Vulgar Latin was spoken in a lot of these countries, including Romania, France, Spain, Portugal, and Italy.
And a small section of Switzerland, they speak Romansh.
Correct, that's right.
Which is also a Romance language.
Yeah.
There are about 8 or 9 of them. I can't remember exactly.
So so that's the term, but that term didn't become. People don't know this. It happens that when the Spain lost its empire, all of these countries started separating themselves from Spain. It was at a time where Spain was invaded by France. Napoleon's forces came into Spain, and my understanding is that Napoleon or one of his commanders suggested that the word be changed to Latin American, because when you say Latin Americans, that includes some countries that speak French, that are like the Guyanas and some of the islands that are Haiti, and some of these islands that are
Dominion
under French dominion. So it looked like the French Empire was a lot stronger. It took on the Spanish and the Empire at the time, and that was part of why they used Latin American. In modern times, though, we have a tendency to shorten everything, and we drop the part American in the back, and I think that's where that Latino came in, because nobody says Latino Americano, they say Latino. And that's it, because everybody wants to simplify, which is a very incorrect term, in my opinion, because it doesn't describe Latin Americans. They have Latin culture, but they have an American culture. American culture would be indigenous culture. Those are the people that were
not from the U.S. exactly.
Any part of in the continent. I think
Amerindians.
Amerindians, which could be
All of them.
all over North America,
Central.
Central America, and South America, and that's a more correct term because it includes the fullness of everything. Anyway, in practical terms, everybody wants to simplify things in modern days, and this will never happen. I don't think people are going to say, "Oh, Latin Americans." I don't think that's going to happen. So the term Latin, I think a better term is Hispanic than Latin to describe us, but still it's not completely correct either, because you need the Hispanic American part to include the indigenous Amerindians that were part of the Spanish power of the time and the Portuguese power of the time, etc. The European powers that were in dominion. So anyway, this is our first video. We just want to start out. We come and smoke a cigar and talk things that we think are interesting. At least they're interesting to us. So we'll see you next time. And this is Ed.
Luis.
Until next time.